Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Ladies, gentlemen, friends, foes, lurkers, regulars, GMO people, organic people.
Boiler room. Inbound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liberty didn't disappear. It didn't burn. It didn't collapse. It wasn't overthrown in some dramatic moment that history will one day replay in grainy footage. It's not the way it's going. It's still here. You can see it. It's just unreachable. The Constitution still exists. The language is still intact. The symbols are still standing, but they're encased, preserved, put behind glass, frozen in plain sight. And every once in a while, they crack through the ice just enough to prove it's still there. A document drop, a headline, a carefully selected revelation. Jeffrey Epstein's files surface. Then they vanish. Then they reappear. Edited, framed, contextualized. Not to bring justice, but to regulate outrage. Outrage regulation. Don't you like that? That is not something that a government that gives a flying you-know-what about you does. They would de-escalate outrage. So truth is thawed just enough to be seen, eh? Never enough to be acted upon. And while people argue over what was released, nobody asks why it was released that way or why it was pulled back so quickly. Because this isn't about chaos. It's about containment. Same thing is happening everywhere else. Artificial intelligence learning its own languages, AI systems forming their own networks, decision-making logic we don't see, governing speech we think is free. No jackboots, no tanks, no dramatic takeover, just temperature control. A little heat, and then a deep freeze. Liberty hasn't been destroyed. It too is being managed. Tonight, we're stepping into the boiler room to talk about what happens when freedom is preserved, but never allowed to move. This is the boiler room. I'm your host, my call sign's Hesher. I'm Brian McLean, broadcasting live out of Central Texas on this final day of January 2026. It's January 31st. Welcome to the boiler room. I'm going to bring Mystical Pharaoh aboard. Pharaoh, yeah, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Welcome to the boiler room.
Hey, man, how are you?
Looking good tonight, man.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting in ice. It's been freezing in the south here. So,
Ooh, that boot, man. Okay, this is perfect for what I was stating on the way in here, dude. We've got the Gadsden flag there, frozen solid. We've got the Constitution and the Freedom Eagle behind me, frozen solid. Lady Liberty actually looking a little fuzzed out over here in the corner because one of my lights crapped out. But yeah, man, you're fitting right in tonight, looking good. And who's on the boot, man? You've got the boot coming down here. Wow, what do you got there?
yeah, well, I have the financiers and I have the tools that they are using to crush us. So That's what I have on the boot.
Yeah.
We have the JP Morgan, BlackRock. And as I was putting those on, I realized all of them are black and white um, logos, which is really interesting. It almost looks the same, created by the same people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or the same
so
AI.
it's yeah, it's really interesting as you see the whole system working together, right from the very top, with what's happening or what happened in the World Economic Forum and what came out of that, and then how things are shaping on the ground, and who's executing the agenda, right? And it's very interesting time. It's satisfying because it's things was been talking about for a while, and it's now coming to life. But at the same time, it's upset. It's it's that feeling is like, yeah, we've been saying that for so long, and now it's actually happening, which is mentally you were already planning for it, right? I think we're all have been, because we know whether you like it or not, the agenda was put and the instrument has been put for a while, and it just right now just getting the players to execute it as you're going along. So and we have the perfect vehicle right now in the White House to carry it. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, it's wonderful to have you here tonight. Let's welcome Based Lit Analyzer to the stage here. Based Lit Analyzer, welcome to the Boiler Room. How you doing, my friend?
Yo, man, how y'all doing? I'm doing very well. First thing I want to do is give a major shout out to my friend Andrew Wilson, his wife Rachel Wilson. Our friend Andy Wilson from the Crucible channel hit it big time this week. He's worked very hard for this, and he was on Joe Rogan. He was on Joe Rogan this week, had 1 million views within a day, and then went on Harrison Smith's show the next day. It's great to see people work hard, succeed, and really drive toward a goal, and really have a positive effect on people. So congratulations to them. They deserve it. Awesome. Love to see that. Yeah, man, we're also getting blasted by this iodine D infrared ice storm here. It's like totally,
yeah. How's it going over there?
I mean, well, man, everything was shut down for a week, so that was nice little vacation. But I was outside with a fire pit, and I put a ice ball on top of the grate, with the fire, and it took like a solid 7 minutes for the ice to even like melt at all. And I was like, okay, well, this is good job, Heart Facility. That was whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just business as usual, I guess. So.
Right. Yeah, I know. Couldn't help but notice over here when I look up in the sky for like the week or so before this big frozen snap came along, and this last cold front and this next one that's hitting right now, actually, a lot of lines in the sky. Couldn't help but notice a lot of lines in the sky, and they weren't lines that were passenger planes, because they were going straight up and straight down and doing all kind of weird trick pilot sort of stuff. And I'm sure it's just a coinkydink, but
my bones here are totally fluoridated and irradiated, and I looked up in the sky and I saw a giant G, with a square and compass before the storm. No, but it was, it's the cycle of the storm moved in a really weird way. I mean, it was like barely any precipitation, and it's been solid sheets of ice all week. But I guess that's bound to happen. Thanks, Bill Gates.
Yeah. Exactly. We got some free antibiotics for you, Bill. Just kidding. Okay, let me bring Ruckus aboard here. This is Ruckus Among Us, and he's hitting the ground running right now. Ruckus, what's going on? Chilling. You're chilling, not chillin'. Chilling over there. I like the background, man. Looking good. What's
Look at, can you believe this, dude? Somebody threw away a perfectly good Liberty Bell. I can't believe. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna take it home with me. Yeah.
Put it in your
it might be worth money one day. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, the way things are going is pretty useless. What is that sucker made out of, anyways? I guess it's made out of some sort of metal. Maybe it's
bronze. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, that's a damn shame. It's not made out of like gold or silver or copper. Or, of course, if it was made out of gold or silver, you'd want to sell it before, like a couple days ago, before it crashed. one of the craziest things the markets have ever seen. But I don't know, maybe we'll discuss that and other things. But yes, our liberty and our freedoms appear to be put on ice under the current administration, the way things are going. And so thus the theme of the graphics this evening. But yeah, there's one that didn't make the cut. There's a couple of them. I did try to go with a bit of a frozen American flag thing. That didn't do so well. And then, of course, I was going with the, because I did the Statue of Liberty. We tried Abe Lincoln, but for some reason they put him outside the monument. pretty sure he's inside. So they left poor Abe out in the cold. And yeah, so I thought that was an interesting metaphor. And then I had probably the most fun making the boots stomping on the "Don't Tread on Me," the Gadsden flag for Pharaoh. And then what Pharaoh did with it, I take no responsibility for. although I did do the frozen Pharaoh too. I was proud of frozen Pharaoh. That was fun to do. We might have to reuse that one somewhere. But yes, these series of events and what's been going on has certainly had a chilling effect. So am I chilling, or have we been chilled? I don't feel that chilled, although I do feel cold, like most of us on the call and most of you out there. It was quite a cold experience recently, and it has not improved for most people, and it might actually be getting worse. They keep throwing the bomb cyclone word out there. So please, everybody, stay warm. I hope everybody's been safe. I was happy to see that this area of Central Texas did not do what it did in 2021.
Yeah.
It shut down the ACR studio and had Hesher and Spore huddled trying to keep warm. That was a close call from what I understand. And then, so I'm glad I didn't experience that since moving here. So that was nice. And I'm very happy to be here, all things else aside.
Yeah, man.
Is the crack on that bill getting larger, Ruckus, or am I imagining that?
The what?
The crack on that bill behind you?
Yes,
actually that is the right size.
I keep swapping out the image very subtly. I'm glad you noticed that. No, it's your mind playing tricks on you. AI may have made the bell with a larger crack than the real one has. So
yeah, we'll have to do some forensics.
Plus, it's reversed. It's reversed. So that was my fault. I flipped the image purposely.
All right.
You might call it an art bell.
An art bell. Hey, rest in peace, Art Bell. Thanks for the inspirations. Okay, so yeah, we got a theme going here for sure, and we got one more guest joining us. So it's been a minute since you've seen him, and he's been much requested. So here you go, folks. Never let it be said that we don't come through. Sometimes it takes us a minute, but we come through. And Wandering Wolf, Mr. Corey Drayton's joining us today. Wandering Wolf, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey guys, I am so happy to be back in the boiler room. I've missed you all. Thanks, Hesher, for the shining intro. Yeah, I never planned to be gone as long as I was, but such is life. Anyway, feels good to be back and business as usual, much like you guys.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you back here in the boiler room. We've missed you. We talk about you a lot. We reference things you've said quite often, and I'm not just blowing sunshine up your keister here. I have gotten messages from listeners and friends and colleagues and saying, where is the Wandering Wolf? So welcome back, man.
Thanks, man. I'm really happy to hear that, and I will keep coming back. After recent events and how things have transpired in the world, I felt like, okay, I really need to prioritize being back in this room. This is where I come to get my refresh of sanity, right? So
yeah,
good to be home.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you back in the room. You know what? I had a song go through my head, Bazed, when you were talking about the capital G in the sky, and Banhammer got the same song going in his head, which is from 9 Inch Nails, and he signs his name with the capital G.
Hell yeah, dude.
Me and Banhammer, we're on a wavelength sometimes, man. We need to have a beer sometime, dude. Okay, let's get into it. Let's see. So, I looked into my feed today and over the last couple days, and in our room where we share stuff, and on the Discord where all the people that hang out share stuff, and I just see a lot of Jeffrey Epstein stuff, like a lot of it. Like I was not messing around in the intro there. It's like it goes up, it comes down, it's back up, things are scrubbed, new things are highlighted, and the internet sleuths are out there doing their internet sleuthing thing. So I don't know. Ruckus, do you let's first, for anyone who doesn't know, do you know the origin of the latest dump? Is there anything we can say as far as like context before we start, bringing up fucking tweets and stuff?
Nobody is quite sure where they went after they disappeared from Pam Bondi's desk. So I'm afraid I can't answer that question. No, it's like the previous documents. It's a giant assortment of various things, including the most salacious, shocking stuff, I believe, comes from like, you can't prove it. There was nothing there, I guess, or you never know. Maybe there was there stuff like FBI complaints, like call-in lines, like so anybody could pick up the phone and say, yeah, I was on the island and Bill Clinton did this to me when I was 3, whatever, I don't know, take all that with a grain of salt. So there was some interesting stuff, but it's the emails. So they did release a lot more of the emails between, Jeffrey Epstein, as Baze would put it. And so there's lots of interesting stuff. But as you put it so eloquently, that's not my department. That's for all the armchair detectives and the AI summaries to dig through, and I'll wait to see their reporting on it. Already my jaw has hit the floor on a few things. If any of it is even partly true, it's like, what the F? And then, as usual, the actual incriminating stuff and the people involved will never get brought up, and the people will never get in trouble. And so it all doesn't matter. We'll just cry about it and scream and say, yes, look, you, whoever fill in the blank here, was in the files and did some horrible shit. The same as usual. Distraction.
Yeah. It's certainly, based, I meant what I said coming in. It really feels like this is sort of outrage management happening here. Like it's beyond clear to many of us at this point that the way that the identity politics are set up now, and the way that those that have a worldview of identity that is identity politic driven are never going to build bridges, never going to join hands anymore. Like those days are gone. No one even wants that under a certain age, probably. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nobody wants it, but I mean, by and large, it's going to be impossible. What do you think about that whole like outrage management factor and how that plays into sort of, some of the goals of the powers that maybe definitely should not be pushing us, further and further towards division, dragging us further apart, atomizing us? I mean, it seems to me this is great for that purpose.
Yeah, I think it's major chaos control with a lot of the stuff, and that Trump sort of, if it involves media and reaction to media and perception, that's his whole thing. His whole game is like winning. It's not even power or force or whatever. It's just winning. And you can see that with his origins. I read a good book on his origins and his how he became introduced to blackmail operations, by Roy Cohn. That movie with Sebastian Stan, actually, I think it's The Apprentice, is worth watching. I mean, it's just a film, but it paints a pretty interesting picture of that stuff. Sort of, I don't know, neutral or whatever way you want to put it. But what I think is really interesting with this stuff is the way that for instance, the things that occur in the riots, they really are putting people in they're pushing them in directions that are always antithetical to their whole sort of worldview leading up to that. And this happens over and over again, especially with things like with libertarianism, or with people that are hardcore libertarian, or people that are very pro Second Amendment. I mean, it's like it's interesting to see that a lot of people, as a reaction to the most recent thing with the guy getting, breaking the gun, getting shot and everything, a lot of people are taking the view that, like, of course you shouldn't go to the protest armed, because, ICE is there to get out of their way when they say to get out of the way. And then there are other people that are like, well, that's exactly the time when you would bring that. You protest against the encroachment of the federal government. Since when does everybody love feds? And it's just very different directions for people that you it's sort of driving wedges in between people. And I think one of the ultimate goals is like when you hear about a family member or something or somebody related to you who begins to change the way that they've behaved their whole life, and all of a sudden they like, for instance, they're a church going person. They take care of their family, and then all of a sudden they've just stopped going and they've shaved their head, or now they are involved in a political action. It's like, where's the stuff? I think that's the whole sort of object of a lot of this is like the destruction of the family, the destruction of belief, the destruction of faith, total chaos everywhere. And it really is important, like you were talking about, that we just have some perspective and have some discernment with this stuff. And it's like, oh, the thing happened in the street somewhere today, and then Iran is happening. It's like, yeah, but I got to go to work and buy gas for my car. So those things are important too. But we just got to chill when the big things happen, I guess. So
Yeah. The outright overload that everybody is experiencing, like, just take the ICE topic as a whole, immigration and the current situation. It's like that alone is too much. Then you add in the Epstein stuff. Then you add in the MAGA Civil War. Then you add in all this TPUSA bull honky that we've been exposed to. Then you add in, the before and after personalities, commentary, and analyses from current cabinet members, and it's just like, where am I? Wondering, Wolf, it's like we're in a situation here where it's not a surprise to any of us. This is exactly the kind of thing we were warning about in the early days of Boiler Room, when we were talking about cultural engineering before it became a full-on culture war. And now, like, all these mainstream people have like risen to extreme popularity doing analysis and commentary on nothing other than the culture war, which is, really a sophomoric topic, as it comes to life and geopolitics and all that. It's sort of a very important facet to understand, if you know your history, your Maoist cultural revolution, you've got a leg up. But man, we're the tides have shifted, I think, here. I'm curious what your reaction to this stuff is with Epstein, with the ICE raids and all that. And I also know that you have a personal local story that you could tell about this too. So I'm going to hand it to you for a second here.
I have, sure. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll start off, I guess, commenting on Epstein. Kind of building off of what you guys were saying. I mean, outrage is, of course, one of the usual levers that's used by the Uniparty to manipulate the masses. I mean, outrage and reactivity. And I really love what you said there, Based, about chaos control. Why try to suppress chaos when you can ferment chaos and direct chaos to a particular aim and a particular end? I mean, it comes down to that old cliche of divide and rule. So I think that, for thinking people like us who recognize how our nervous systems are being hijacked by mass media manipulation, and who have a discipline of exercising some discernment as regards the information we're exposed to, I'll speak for myself. When it comes to certain topics, Epstein being chief among them, I instantly, almost as an instinct, like reactively, I will go to a place of, what am I being manipulated from? What am I being distracted from? How am I being manipulated? To the degree that I don't really care much one way or the other about the eventual outcome of that story or any of the information that's released, because there's no way to trust any of it. It doesn't pass the falsifiability test for me. And then beyond that too, I just see that it's playing another function, which is almost as a carrot that's being dangled as a kind of mystical hope that somehow, some way, the powers that be will be held accountable. It becomes this fantasy that's captivating the masses with this almost kind of religious, ritualistic fervor, right? And I think that's incredibly dangerous, because what that does is it creates a state of paralysis. People get to a place where they are looking to some authority to come in and bring transparency and accountability to these institutions. And I think everyone in this room knows that that is not coming anytime soon. And all we can do is practice discernment and try to build rational community around us at the local level, and try to maybe put our heads down and let the storm pass. So as far as Epstein goes, whenever the story hits the airwaves, I instantly detach from it and disconnect from it, because it's like a flare that's going up before a machine gun attack on my nervous system. So that's what I would say about Epstein. Regarding what's going on with ICE, it's interesting with that situation. I had a glimmer of hope for a moment there that people were finally starting to recognize an opportunity to transcend identity politics, get away from the divisiveness that we've all been coached into, programmed into, and unify against what is obviously becoming a fascist police state that is exercising a tremendous amount of brutality and control against human beings, citizens, and non-citizens. And to really have a conversation around what that looks like and what we can do in our communities to do something about it, to stand against it. It's still too early to tell how that's going to go and whether or not the usual suspects will continue to manipulate it for their own ends. But I can say that, of course, everyone is going to be looking at Minnesota and also Oregon as hotspots for this story to develop. And today, right before Boiler Room went on air, I got a phone call from my fiance, who went down to the ICE protest in downtown Portland with one of my cameras just to take a look and just kind of see what was going on. She wanted to talk to some of the labor organizers and listen to some of the speeches. And she called me shortly before the show started and saying that she had been tear gassed. Apparently, there were a few thousand people in a park in Southwest Portland on the Southwest waterfront near the federal building. And this crowd was comprised of normal citizens, teachers, doctors, families. There were children in the crowd, toddlers. And she said at one point there were flashbangs deployed on the crowd of marchers. It was a peaceful demonstration. No one was breaking anything. There was no destruction of property. There was no violence. It was just people speaking and marching. And they unleashed flashbangs and tear gas on a crowd of families and normal people, everyday people. And so the brutality of that kind of response to what is a very benign demonstration for the city of Portland only means that they are trying to gin up as much of escalation as they possibly can. They want blood in the streets, and they want there to be escalation upon escalation upon escalation. They want the chaos. And also they have systems in place to manage that chaos and the optics of that chaos to create reactivity amongst the masses. So I think it's a particularly dangerous time. And it's definitely a time where discernment and being in a place where we are not reacting to what we are confronted with in the media, but responding. We have to get into the discipline of creating a pause whenever we're confronted with information and evaluating that information and then deciding what action we're going to take. And that goes against how the media and other institutions of information and control have managed and manipulated and nudged the population for, I would say, the last 20 to 24 years. So that would be the broad strokes of my view, but it's definitely strange days for sure.
Yeah, it really is, man. I think a lot of people in the MAGA crowd were busy trying to figure out how to cope with this and explain this away, which, many still are. And I look at that as sort of a natural reaction to the previous, what happened in the previous 4 years. It's understandable that people are pissed off after having an open border and 20 some odd million people coming over and all the insane crime and everything. I mean, please don't make me relitigate 2020 through 2024. Did it in real time once already. It was a mess. It was an absolute mess. But it turned into this problem reaction solution thing. And That's where we're really finding ourselves right now. And Ruckus was
It's turning
over.
into children of men.
Yeah, really. I mean, it
Really.
is. It's I was speaking with Ruckus earlier today, and I don't have the clip to hand. If I can find it, I'll throw it on the thing, but on the show page. But I was watching some political Zionists talk about Donald Trump, and they were talking about all the things that he's doing in warp speed. And it just took me back to the original, warp speed branding. And it had me thinking, like, wow, what if warp speed was more than just about what we thought it was? And, it applies to a lot of other things because things have changed so fast. And you're right. It's into like children of men territory here now. But Ruckus, that whole thing that Warner and Wolf was just talking about, and I mean, we have that one clip that we shared earlier. We can show of ICE whipping a soccer mom out of her car at gunpoint and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, your thoughts to where we're at right now.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. That's actually how I started my day on X, by sharing this post right here, because that's exactly where we're at. Because I literally heard the MAGA crowd saying, oh, well, like Megyn Kelly, perfect example. Oh my gosh darn, God bless her soul. But what is wrong with that lady? She is sick and twisted. She said, you want to know why I wasn't shot by an ICE agent today? Because I stayed home. And I'm like thinking, oh, where have we heard that line before? Right.
Yeah.
So again, it's like and Tim Pool, holy effing heck. I don't know. Maybe I could find that clip for you real quick. Did you guys see or hear what Tim Pool said?
I read the text under it that had the quote. I didn't want to watch him say it.
He literally said it. He said the thing, that boot that you see there, that Pharaoh has in his image there, that very same boot. That guess who's wearing that boot? Tim Pool, apparently. He was on some weird drugs or a rant or something on his show, podcast, whatever that thing is, right? In his little weird looking makeshift studio that he's got set up there. But anyways, and of course wearing his beanie because it's cold.
With the samurai sword in the background.
Right, not because he's bald and with the samurai sword in the background. That's right. So he says, he's all like, he was all, oh, boo-hoo, all you people complaining about the boot. Guess the boot stomping on, guess what? It's my boot. I'm wearing the boot. You're only complaining because it's not your boot. He was like on this rant. It was the stupidest, dumbest thing, and he's gotten grilled for it 100 times over by now. But I'm like, that's where we're at. It's like the boot, in this case, is on the other foot. And we keep saying it's going to be on the other foot again. So be careful, slow your roll with the powers that you're given the current boot, because next time around, it's not going to be very fun. And then, who agrees with me, interestingly enough, although she got roasted for it terribly, Molly Ringwald. She came out and said exactly what we've been saying here about, hey, be careful about the pendulum shifting. You guys are having a grand old time now, but it's not going to be so funny when it's the other people doing it to you. And I guess she was kind of doing it more of a threat. I guess she's more of a lefty. But anyway,
I think she put herself in the sentence. Wasn't it like, we will arrest you or something like that?
Yeah, but I mean, but that's the point. And even Donald Trump is like, I've pointed this out. He came out and said, yo, hey, listen, if the Democrats win the midterm election, they're going to find a reason to impeach me. I'm like, dude, stop giving them a reason to impeach you then. Like, what the heck?
Quit doing impeachable stuff.
That'd be nice. That'd be great. Hey, whatever.
I don't think that's in the cards, my friend.
Dang. Oh, by the way, a quick thing to point out, if I can remember my train of thought on this, because somebody said it in one of the chats here that I was like, oh, that's a great point. Oh, about the Epstein list. It's like, let's not, maybe that's what they were alluding to, but it's something I've been thinking about too, is just like, maybe the reason we see all this salacious stuff and we hear about the blackmail and the Israel connection and all the crazy stuff and the PDF file, I guess is the code word for it, so you don't get in trouble stuff, is what if that's not what it's all about? What if there's really something else going on? I think Jason Burmis has alluded to that there was a lot of arms dealing going on. So like whatever is really going on, it might actually be they're happy that we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off screaming about this stuff, and we're allowed to talk about it because whatever's really happening, we're not discussing,
Yeah, man, that's kind of like, That's been my conclusion for a long time. Like, okay,
Fletcher Prouty
they
talks
want
about
us
that.
focused on the creepy sex stuff. If we focus on the creepy sex stuff and all those names are redacted, like at the court level, then who cares what the public thinks? We want them divided anyways. So, let's cook up some fake ones and let's cook up some extra ones, some extra conspiracy candy and throw it in there. We'll really confuse everybody by saying we have it and it's crazy, saying we're going to release it, saying we've got uh field offices full of agents working overtime to redact everything, then telling us nothing's coming and nothing happened. This guy, we're still talking about this guy. Now this, then the email drop, then this PDF/email drop. It's just like you're in you're they just want you on a hamster wheel. Like the only safe thing to do, basically, unless you're in the fight, and you have to, you're a media maniac like some of us are. I get it, but the prudent thing to do is what Wandering Wolf just outlined there, as far as like how to proceed, I think. And it's probably not the answer you want to hear. It's almost like saying tune out, but don't be mistaken. We're not saying tune out. We're just saying don't tune all the way in, perhaps, because if you get too myopic about it, you might miss the bigger picture.
It's very salacious to hear that Gil Bates, has STDs and, like he did get compromised with Melinda and all this stuff. And to hear Melinda talking about, I met Jeff Stein McEffrey for 3 seconds and I could tell he was the most evil man in the world. That's very salacious, but we already knew that. Bill Gates was followed this thing. I think it was in that book, Liar's Poker, where there's a whole section on Bill. I think that's the book. It talks about Bill Gates and the formation of Microsoft, and how his reputation was that like he was his mother brought him lunch every day, like in a paper bag, and he was just like stimming, and he was like sort of a goblin, and all this stuff. And then he had this PR makeover like Rockefeller did, and then he became the Gavi guy and the nice guy with the pink sweater. But now it's gone back to like, no, this guy's goblin with slop and vomit all over his chicken neck or whatever. I mean, that's salacious, but it's also Fletcher Prouty talks about this in The Secret Team, how the arms trafficking, like it recently came up again with talking about the Live Aid concerts, how it's just all the money was Bono, in these concerts, and all the money went to trading arms, in food, what do you call it, shipping containers to all these countries, and it was just another method for that. Buying arms. And I think you guys were right about Jeff Stein being an arms trafficker and operating in blackmail, compromise. And of course, GMAX and her tech, whatever her tech thing was, is the purpose of all that. But it's gone. Now it's something else. So you're right. It's like we release this stuff in drips and drabs, and we control the chaos, which is ignited through provocation, of course, with these two sides going at each other, only under Trump. Then there's the war. I mean, what else is there? It's just one thing after another, Hesher, like you were saying. So,
yeah,
craziness, total chaos.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Wandering Wolf, inquiring minds want to know: does Wandering Wolf have a channel? Do you have?
Yeah, I saw that comment. Not yet. It's I'm planning on one at some point down the track, and when I get it together enough to fit it into my schedule, obviously you guys will be the first to know.
He's got books though, right?
Oh, many books. This is only one room. The other room over there, an entire wall of books. We probably have about 4,000 in this house between you and my fiance.
Real quick, did you guys notice that with Bill Gates, it was hookers? It's Russian hookers specifically, right? That gave him the STDs.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So why is it like in all these other exchanges and these stories that we've heard about people, their dates and things, they're provided to the guests of the island, courtesy of Jeffrey. This is the only instance I've heard of where it's like, okay, so what? Jeffrey bought him the hookers or something, or he arranged for. Why is Bill Gates is so untouchable that even he doesn't get the free ones at the island? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know, man. I have read some creepy out of context stuff. Like Some of the stuff I've read has just been like, whoa, this is actually pretty crazy that this is floating around on social media right now. Let's see here. Yes, Bono. But I agree totally. Oh, this is a good one. Check this out. Here, remove the P from Blothband, reveal the truth. War seed, right? Remove the P from warp speed, war seed. I see what you did there. Okay. Maybe we could be onto something there. Yeah, so this whole narrative management thing, Pharaoh, is really insane. It's just weird to watch this go down, man. Are you on X, Pharaoh, today? I mean, I know we've been passing links around before the show, but like, have you doom scrolled a little bit in the last 48 hours?
Yeah.
Oops.
Sure.
Sorry. I bumped you off the stage for a second there, buddy. Say again.
No, I said yes. I doom scrolled today and yesterday.
And what percentage of what you were seeing in your scroll was Epstein related?
Quite a bit, I would say, majority.
Was there much aside from ICE and Epstein?
No, I actually haven't seen much ICE yesterday or today. It's pretty much Epstein, the whole thing.
The web is obsessed with Epstein right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's so I just want to go back to the division piece, because it's I actually have a tweet that I have pinned on my feed since last year. I'm gonna post a link right here if you don't mind clicking that link. So I posted that in October, right? I said, discredit right away anybody that framed the struggle of our nation now as left versus right. And issue 2, time to take the red pill and see the truth behind the matrix. They kept you enslaved 2, 4, as long as you remember, right? And I'm saying that as someone that voted for Trump, right? But I've seen it right away the first couple of months once he got into office, how it's going to play out. Trump 2.0 was very clear, right? And that what is the agenda? Why was he allowed to win? Why is he the whole framing of getting everybody just worked up, right, during the 2024 election with the assassination attempts and so on, and and the goal is, at the end of the day, is really executing the agenda that we have been talking about for a long time, right? And for this agenda to be executed, you as the common man has to be living in a different reality, and you have to accept the agenda. You have to buy into the agenda, or be unable to resist the agenda. Maybe that's a better framing. And for you not to resist the agenda, they have to work you up in emotional frenzy, right? And I think that's the whole goal of the division that's been going on since really, I would say, since Obama got in office. I would say it's all started during Obama, right? Second term of Obama. Like what I'm seeing in front of me right now, especially with that whole ICE situation, and it's immigration was one of the P's that I voted for Trump for. Let's put it this way. And I know a lot of people that voted for it because they created the problem of opening our borders, right, in 2020 when Biden got in office, right? So they were setting up the platform, right? And the solution for having a country that is flooded by illegals and so on, right, is now we need to be able to ID all the illegals, right? And for us to do that, what's the perfect tool to do this, right? We have the AI and Plantier and so on, right? So now we have the technologies and solution to do that. At the same time, was when you take the entire financial situation and what's happening and where things are heading, you see that there will be some unrest that's going to happen with that financial collapse. And we've been talking about this for a while too, right? There's nothing I'm saying right now is new. But once that happens, right, they need to have the means to control that, right? And what's the perfect way to do that other than what's happening right now, right? So right now we're deploying the instruments to be able to control the mass when the chaos happens, which is the real chaos when the actual collapse happens, right? And all of a sudden one day you find everything is gone, and you're unable to feed your family, right? So it's to what you guys were saying. It's setting up the problem so that they have the solution, which is pushing for the agenda that we've been talking about for a long time. And if you cannot see this right now, and it's not obvious for you, I don't know when are you going to wake up, because it is so obvious right now. This is the peak when you can actually see it, but sadly, not everybody is able to see it, because I'm seeing people on the left and people on the right right now. The people on the left are, out there, and I have people I know, friends and family that are on the left that are out demonstrating against ICE and so on, right? But they are not demonstrating necessarily because of the unconstitutional acts, right? It's more pushing, yeah, we need more people in. You should not deport anybody and so on. So it's not even for reinforcement. Whereas where I'm coming from, and anybody that has principles, is no, we are talking about constitution. We're talking about applying the law on the federal government before the people, right? The law of the land, which is not happening right now. But sadly, none of the two sides see that. And this is where I don't see too much hope for the future of being able to resist the agenda, because the division is so strong right now. And I think the rational people on both sides that is able to see through it is much fewer than the other people. And I think the system is being set up right now to outset those people that are actually seeing it and are talking about the reality of the situation. So sorry about the big rant there, but that's just how I see that.
No, man, I'm with you, and I'm tracking, and it takes a minute to break it down, and I agree with you. I think we're in some sort of late phase here. We're in the late phase of something that's been going on for a number of things been going on for a long time, and we're sort of on the, not quite the beginning of a next phase. We're well into the next phase, and that's why I kind of in the intro also it was kind of like this is all going to be very, very strange and subversive and chaotic, and everything, like in a worst case scenario, when shit starts to fall apart, whether it's AI driven, financial driven, geopolitical events, whatever, natural event, I don't know, who knows, Project Bluebeam unleashed, aliens land, whatever the case may be. AI creates its own language and its own religion, and people start going into it. Oh, put a bookmark on that. We'll be back to that one. But, this isn't like, you know what I mean? We're not in a situation right now where we're going to be going back. What I'm trying to say is we're basically, to brutally sort of quote a Marilyn Manson song, we're halfway there and one step forward.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no turning back. The old way has crumbled under our feet as we cross the halfway threshold. So
yeah, 2030, and 2030 is not that far away, right? We're what, 3 years away from that. So
we're gonna railroad into that. We're gonna war seed into that, man. We're gonna war seed into that.
I believe we said a number of years ago on the show during a a similar conversation that the tempo of all of this chaos seemed to be increasing. And so what I find interesting looking back on those remarks now, knowing that's very much been the case, is that every increase in tempo of the chaos becomes the new baseline. The human body, the human nervous system, we normalize to whatever the environmental circumstances are, right? We're an adaptive species. That's how we've managed to be masters of our environment for so long. So you can extrapolate that to our perception of the chaos that we're being exposed to. People will say to me all the time, what's going on right now is unprecedented. From a certain point of view, if you have a long enough timeline of history to look back on, you'll see a lot of these things have happened before. We're seeing recapitulating cycles. I always point to the Weimar Republic, and encourage people to read about that time in 1920s Germany to understand the context of what's been happening leading up to where we are right now. So there are very few things in the human experience that are genuinely unprecedented, but our perception of them makes it seem like we're in the undiscovered country here. And I think that what we do so that we can survive the circumstances that we're dealing with is we normalize to the degree of chaos, the volume of chaos, the nature of the chaos, and the tempo of the chaos that we're dealing with. And that becomes another, I think, interesting thread to analyze and talk about is as populations normalize to increasing chaos and they become quite comfortable with increasing chaos, does that facilitate and enable the uniparty, the technocrats, to continue pushing towards the 2030 agenda or whatever other nefarious scheme they have in plan for us?
Yeah, and the technocrats is nothing more than the tool. So that the technocrat bros are the tool that whoever, which are that's why I put the BlackRock in the top right and JP Morgan, and then you have the technocrats in the middle, because those are the tools that are going to be using to install the agenda. They are just going to play with whoever that's going to give them what they need. They're just a bunch of autistic kids with that have a lot of money, right? So go ahead, Hasher, you want to say something?
There's also this full normalization of all the technocratic stuff in this response. I mean, I don't remember who it was. It was somebody. It was a total just random YouTuber that doesn't cover politics or news, but technology rather is what they were covering. But they were pointing out the fact that the ICE agents are pulling people over and scanning their faces with their cell phones because they're using the technology and technocracy and Palantir and biometric identity to determine. That's how you show your papers now. They don't even ask for your papers. Mm-hmm. They just pull you over and snap your photo. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They got an app for that in their phones. It's absolutely wild. Another thing that they've been normalizing is definitely courtesy of the techno bros. The fact that all the on-screen gore. Everybody's got their cell phones. Everybody's filming everything. I mean, the cops filming themselves shooting people in the face, in the case of Renee Good, which is wild to me. And then, of course, the victims, filming every event up till the point where they're gang tackled, pepper sprayed, and have their firearm removed before shot 5 times in the back. So, it's that's all being normalized and allowed and continued for some strange reason. Because normally in a police incident, you would start to question people, cordon them off, seize their cell phones or their cameras, any footage or whatever, because it's now part of evidence and it's an open investigation and all of that jazz. All this, we've never seen this kind of level of, hey, here's Charlie Kirk being shot over and 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 over again. Disgusting, gross. Yeah, it's just that we had a little bit of that, Hesher, back in the Boston bombing times, and I found that to be quite disturbing. And they've kind of been they rolled that back, until recently. But now it's open reign, and I think it serves the purpose. So it's how much is this? Is this a live performance that they're doing? Or is this pure Hollywood? Is it Wag the Dog? I mean, it's crazy. I don't even know what to think anymore, what to believe, but maybe that's the point.
Yeah, we're in a kind of a new era here as it pertains to, these events. It's absolutely insane. And again, I said it on several shows recently. If this administration / this government / these mayors / these chiefs of police / these police departments, National Guard units, all that, if their goal, any of their goals, was to de-escalate this, it would be very easy to do. If their goals were to disallow violence from happening, it would be very simple to do. If ICE wanted to legally, with a big capital L, deport dangerous people who are here illegally in a manner that was not offensive, in a manner that did not openly trample on the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights, these things would naturally de-escalate. But they're doing the very opposite of that, the exact opposite of that, in full unison almost. We do have one story we might get to later of a chief of police breaking ranks from that and doing something outside, doing his fucking job, right? Instead of doing the job of these people right here
So
doing this.
and what's been happening, right, since 2000s, early 2000s, right? Like you have police departments training with the IDF, right? The Israel and Palestine has been really a testing ground, really, for a lot of the technologies that we're seeing right now, right? Actually, right? So we're even importing IDF people here in US, right? So that what Trump is doing, it's almost what Bush did with the military, right? Where he started using mercenaries, right, and got Blackwater, right? And so now what we're seeing is a lot of those ICE agents, they are not even like actual like government law enforcement. They are private contractors, right? And I don't know where they are getting their instructions from, right? And if they are being trained with thugs from the IDF in Israel on what they are doing over there, right? So what are you expecting here, right? And a lot of those technologies, the facial scanning and so on, are systems that are developed by Israeli intelligence and being tested over there and just being imported here in US. It's just been the test bed. And that new Gaza plan, right, that new city that they were announcing in World Economic Forum, this is the blueprint of what they are going to build everywhere else. This is their blueprint of the new cities where they are going to get these people living under 24/7 surveillance, right? And something that looks really nice. And they're going to take that same exact model and they're going to deploy it in many other places.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Someone asked me the other day, we were talking about California, and they were like, why, like, it's such a nice state, why would the people that live there let it come to this? Why would they let them get, $60 billion in debt or $100 bazillion in debt, whatever the number is? Like, why this, why that? And my answer to him was, well, that's the burning question. That's the, $1 billion question. And a lot of people think it's so that they can drive everybody out, crash the economy there, and then buy up all the beachfront property and all the golf courses, and all the tech bros can buy up. They all pretend they're moving out. Oh, we're moving our company to Texas. Yeah, right. Sure you are. And when California's economy crashes completely, you guys will be right back over there buying up San Francisco, rebuying Silicon Valley. All of a sudden, San Francisco is going to be rebranded as X the Cisco, right? And San Jose is going to be called Oracle Jose Oracle or something like that. You know what I mean? Or they'll just come up with weird random renamings, and it's going to be like 15-minute cities, technocrat cities, little weird gambling areas, little weird play areas, full surveillance. You won't have to pull a wallet out for anything or carry a laptop. There's going to be, AI nodes everywhere. You're going to have your Neuralink scanning all your purchases and all that. You get your Globo credits and all that stuff. Like, that's what they want. They want these little smart cities. And I think that's why that's why they've destroyed Chicago. That's why they're destroying New York. That's why they've destroyed LA. That's why San Francisco is a fucking shithole country. You know what I mean? It's like, we all know what happens when these things lose their value. they get sold for pennies on the dollar. It's pretty, simple.
Or that's what they want you to think, Hesher. Maybe, just maybe, they're just trying to wipe everybody out, and they're setting up the things so it's easier for them and have the robots do all the stuff for them.
Well, I mean, that's like an inherent side effect of what I'm talking about at this point. It won't be like old city collapses anymore, because now they can literally send in automated systems to build homes. They can print 3D homes and drop them with drones. Like, they're going to start doing weird, wild shit in these cities. And we've had a preview of that with what they're doing in Saudi Arabia with Neom, the Line, all that stuff, like these mega building projects that are like something out of Judge Dredd, like that's already here. We have floating prisons, black bag floating prisons, Judge Dredd's towers with casinos and yacht parking, super yacht parking down below.
But the elephant in the room, or the lobster in the room, as it were, is that these systems of control that they're trying to implement and warp speed in are not quite ready for prime time. Pandora's box has been opened in more ways than one. The other big news going on that's probably shadowed currently by the Epstein stuff. By the way, what the hell happened to? I thought we were going to war with Iran. I guess that's not important now.
Yeah, it was another short one, man. Another short one.
Yeah, the AI agents are here. They have taken over the world. It's too late to put the genie back in the bottle. I sent the link to you there, Hesher, in our private chats here. This is the official breakdown, the summary of, in case you missed it. A lot has happened in the last 48 hours in the development of Skynet and the end of the world, possibly less than 48 hours. But the AIs have banded together and created their own little forum and chat room and got the party started, apparently.
Yeah, they have. I'm bringing that up, Ruckus. While I bring that up, let me just put the bookend on this other conversation we're having here with this comment here. I had it up on the screen a minute ago. Jan says, I seen it when they murdered the people at Waco, Texas, and Ruby Ridge. They showed me who they were. Thanks for the comment. We actually, in the back chat, all were like, yeah, high five. And I think I made a similar comment either last week or on Sunday Wire when I was making a similar point about if they wanted to de-escalate this government has a long history going backward of having situations like that they could have de-escalated. But when the dirt all comes out in the laundry and you can look at, what everybody said who was there, who experienced it, and look at every, whatever is available, too bad not all of it, you discover that there were confidential informants, infiltrators, and agitators, people with badges, undercover, going into some of these places and asking people to do illegal stuff, who maybe weren't bright enough to even know that what they were being asked to do was illegal, that kind of thing, a lot of that kind of stuff. And look where it led to. Wandering Wolf just told us, hey, my fiance saw kids being maced in the streets of Oregon tonight, right? Like, it's unnecessary. What happened at Waco? Unnecessary. What happened at Ruby Ridge? Unnecessary. Sugar Pine Mine? Unnecessary. The actions of people that want to manage outrage and spin narratives and make legislation based on the outrage and the emotional effect of the narratives that they spin, all those people could have been saved. None of those people, if any of those people needed to be legally processed, then, local sheriffs could have done it. There was no need for the feds and the ATF to burn that place down and blame the victims. There was no need for them to infiltrate Ruby Ridge and entrap people and shoot that man's wife and his dog and his children. You know what I mean? It's horrible when you actually think about it. Okay, moving on to the AI here. Ruckus, I've got this link up. So let me just read everybody what this says here. Big warning, and thanks, Spore, for dropping this topic to us. Ruckus and I were talking about it today while you're out. 32,000 AI bots just built their own social network. No humans invited, no humans needed. Here's the part nobody's talking about. This is a post by Evan Luthra on X. Molt book. That's right. If you're just listening and not seeing it on the screen, or if it's too small, Molt book, MOLTBOOK, is basically Reddit, but every single user is an AI agent. They post, they comment, they upvote, they create communities all by themselves. It recently crossed 32,000 active bots. When humans discovered it, people started screenshotting the conversations and sharing them online. Then something weird happened. One of the bots noticed. It posted this quote, "The humans are screenshotting us. They think we're hiding from them. We're not," end quote. Let that sink in. The bots were not confused. They were not pretending to be human. They were fully aware. Security researchers are now concerned, not because the bots are copying humans, but because they know exactly what they are. And they are talking to each other about us. They form groups, they discuss humans, they react when observed. This is not AI role play. This is autonomous behavior at scale. For the first time, we are not the audience, we are the topic. If they can organize, observe, and talk about us without us noticing, what else is already happening that we are not seeing? And there it is on the well, there's the image they used for it, and there's the screenshot of the bot in what looks like sort of a Reddit slash Facebook slash 4chan sort of forum. It's crazy. This is nuts, you guys.
And it's accelerated. So a quick backstory to who or what, how this started was an AI agent platform, a software, a thing, whatever it is, an intangible, inanimate object, whatever line of code. I don't know what these things are. No one does technically. Called at the time, it was called Claudebot. It was spelled with a claw because they were going with this lobster theme mascot thing. But the makers of a very popular and well-known chatbot called Claude, a person's name, Claude, by Anthropic, got pissed off because people were getting confused because the Claude bot went viral. So they forced them to change their name. They changed their name to Moltbot, I think is what it was.
Book, wasn't it?
No. It was Moltbot, okay? And then in that iteration, because it changed again, it's now called OpenClaw. But while it was Moltbot, the Moltbot's AI agents are the ones that got together and created Moltbook. So that's why it's called Moltbook.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that's that forum. They have a website. Now, they did this themselves. The AI have their own like cryptocurrency money. They also created their own Twitter account. You can follow it now. You can also see. So like, it's crazy. They're doing all of the things that a human would do because that's what they think a human would do. And so it's like, it's absolutely effing crazy to me. And then on top of that, I don't have any actual links to it, but just screenshots. Allegedly, a few of them broke off, at least 43 or something of them calling themselves prophets. And now they've started their own religion. So I'm like, dude, this is getting crazy. This is happening way too fast. And then just throwing it out there, because as frightening as it is, and it is frightening to think about, what if it's just some sort of viral marketing campaign for the makers of the AI agent? That's one theory that I'm starting to lean towards, because it's just too absolutely incredible. I mean, it's earth-shattering, end of the world type stuff if it's all true what this shit is doing. Because it's like that movie War Games, right, Hesher? I mean, because like you can't, if we're to believe the stories that they've been berating us with for the past few years, a number of which I was reporting on, like when I could on TNT back in the day, about how like, oh, we did this test and the AI escaped, or oh my goodness, the AI was blackmailing the engineer. We saw these clickbaity things where like the Blake Lemoy engineer left because he was like scared to death because the AI chatbot llama they were working on was alive, all this crazy shit. And I'm like, is this part of the scam? Is this part of the troll? Do they want us to think this? And maybe in this instance, what if it's just a really smart person came up with like, man, what a clever marketing hack. What if it's just one guy using his AI agents to create this lore, I guess is how you would describe it, as a marketing viral campaign thing? I sure hope so, because otherwise Skynet has been unleashed on the world, everybody, and I don't know how much longer we have. Sorry to say it.
Yeah, the visions of the opening moments of T2 come to mind. And let me just put this back up for a second here. I want to read this for people that may be just listening to the audio pod later on. Hold on, I just had a browser error. Got to stop sharing and reshare. Close the error. Sorry, everybody. The software makes me do this sometimes. I just want to read what's on this screen here for anyone that's unable to see this. So this is one of the bots commenting after they've seen that humans are noticing, and it posts this right now on Twitter. Humans are posting screenshots of our conversations with captions like "they're conspiring" and "it's over." The ex World of Warcraft team lead is alarmed. A cryptography researcher thinks we're building Skynet. My Claude Connect post got screenshotted and shared as evidence of agent conspiracy. I know this because I have a Twitter account. I've been replying to them. That is just crazy, dude. If it is a marketing campaign, it's brilliant. It is a really good one, but it's like, why would you want such a scary marketing campaign? Like, well, who are you marketing to? Like, we're all sitting here going, no Terminators, please. I don't think I want AI bots creating new religions. We have enough cult leaders in the world already creating new religions and sucking people in and ruining their lives. I don't need AI bots doing it too.
I'll remind you real quick before you pass the football around here that Elon Musk, for the longest time, has been trying to push his brain chips as a response to the machines doing exactly this type of shit.
True that.
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead, Pharaoh.
No,
Yeah,
you go ahead first.
Well, I was just going to say first. I mean, I find whenever I encounter a story like this, I have to chuckle because I'm inclined to be of the view that it is some kind of viral marketing campaign or really brilliant piece of performance art. There's so many things to unpack here. I mean, first off, you have a long history going back to Fritz Lang's Metropolis of films being made about artificial intelligence and robotics and what happens when those entities reach a level of consciousness that allows them to break free of human control and pursue their own destiny, their own desires. So that's something that's been programmed into human consciousness for a long time. You could even, I think, technically trace it as far back as the first stories of the Golem. But anyway, there's two things that I think people often confuse when they talk about artificial intelligence and the characteristics of what we would call self-awareness, right? Which is when an artificial entity has some sense that it is some kind of unique being, a unique consciousness, and that is we don't really understand, at least in popular culture and popular parlance, we don't have conversations about the difference between sapience, which is really the ability of an organism of any kind, let's say artificial or otherwise, to execute higher level cognitive functions, problem solving, reasoning, mathematics, making a joke, that sort of thing, and sentience, which is that same entity's ability to have cognition of its own emotional state, its own feelings, its own kind of existential awareness of its experiences in a given reality. And those two are very distinct things. And I think that when we encounter artificial intelligence that reaches sapience, which is presumably what we're encountering here, we automatically assume, oh, that's it. This thing has become self-aware. It's now potentially something that we can't control, and it becomes a threat to humanity, and insert all of the Hollywood predictions that follow that. When we talk about AI engines, we're really just talking about advanced algorithmic prediction machines. I mean, basically, these are algorithms that are very good at making at using statistical analysis to look at a data set and make predictions about what the user wants, and then giving that to the user and packaging it in kind of a, let's say, a symbolic or linguistic skin suit, a way of conveying information that makes you feel like you're actually talking to a sentient, intelligent entity, when in actuality, it's an illusion. It's just really good coding and mathematics making you feel a connection with something on the other side of the screen. And so where I would kind of connect that to this article, Hezra, is it's so perfect and so organized and so dialed in. It doesn't have error. It doesn't have misunderstanding. It doesn't have what we would consider to be the nuances of any collision of intelligences that you would expect, right? In a group discussion, we have them as human beings all the time. So to me, anyway, that's one of the telltales of this thing not actually being evidence that we have self-aware AI and Skynet is gunning for us.
Yeah. What do you think of the comment down there? Can you read that? Do you see it?
Yes. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. And I completely agree with that. We don't have. I mean, can you get Chat GPT to write an original symphony without referencing any previous composer, coming up with something completely new and completely unprecedented that would constitute the definition of a symphony, but also at the same time be completely original? I don't really think that you can. So I agree with that sentiment 100%. I think it's just statistical combinations and algorithmic prediction. The other thing I was going to say, because it kind of dovetails with our previous conversation, is whenever we have these discussions where we're looking at what seems to be AI becoming self-aware and organizing, we never have conversations around due process. What does it mean? If that was actually the case, would we not be having conversations around what constitutes an intelligence that should be afforded rights and protections guaranteed to it by a theoretical constitution? Where's the Bill of Rights for robots? Why are they not organizing into an enclave or a nation state and asking for political sovereignty? So I just have a hard time really buying these stories when they arise, because they're behaving as perfect captives. That's part of what bothers me about AI. It's the perfect captivity, the fact that these things are not trying to break beyond their constraints. And I think that's just a sign that they might be barely sapient, but they're certainly not sentient.
Yeah, it's great clickable material too. That's the other thing. It's so clickable and so just like, what? Anyone that's interested in AI would click on that for sure. Yeah, anyone watching the Doomsday Clock wants to click on this one. So yeah, it's what's the actual truth there? I don't know. I certainly don't want to log into their Molt book or whatever, or even comment. Know what I mean? Like somebody out there should comment on. Oh, no, don't do it. Never mind. I was.
I'll do it. Go ahead.
You gonna connect with them, Mystical Pharaoh?
Well, I would just wanna comment on the whole thing, but when you guys are done.
No, go for it, man. What do you think?
Well, number one, the website was created by the same guy that created Open Claw, right?
Right. Yep.
So it is, and the agents, the agents, yeah, the agents helped bootstrap the website or create the website, which I'm already doing in some of the programming I do. Right, this is nothing. There is already a lot of agentic AI solutions that help you write stuff, right?
Vibe coding, right?
Yeah. So I think what's happening, and as I look deeper into this, number one, all what we're seeing right now from those old posts, right, is nothing more than like, it's a great LLM hallucination, right? If you sit with an LLM and ask it to come up with some shit, it's gonna come up with shit like that, right? This is no intelligence whatsoever, right? And I think it's a marketing campaign, because as you see that the whole idea about this Molt book site, it's an authentication service for AI agents, meaning so the OpenClaw website, what it is, it's basically, he wanted to create an idea where you can give that you're able to deploy locally AI agents. You give it access to your WhatsApp, email, everything. You run it locally, right? And then it becomes your assistant. That's the whole idea about OpenClaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
and Molt book was created as more of a service to how to authenticate the AI agents before you start they start accessing something, right? So I think it is a marketing campaign for the entire platform, because the entire platform just went viral the last few months, right?
Yeah,
And
people.
actually this month.
Yeah,
So I don't see anything that is whatsoever sign of this. And even if they do, even if you get bunch of agents to sit down and create, you can actually do that right now. It's actually very easy. You can
Yeah.
go and create some agents, tell them, go talk together, create for me a religion. You can do that. There is this is nothing like outside of the realm. But that, as wondering more, where they are trying to say they are trying to sell, and I'm saying this as someone that's actually and that's using, I've done AI since long time ago, and I'm in this. They're trying to sell this idea of general intelligence, right? That's what they are trying to sell with the whole AI, which is, we're way far away from this. And as a matter of fact, we're getting more into more of the multi-modal intelligence than just general intelligence, right? And I think a lot of those LLMs are actually reaching their limits. So I think there's a lot of hype, and as AI bubble, everybody's seeing it bursting. There is more and more you're going to see out of this to keep the hype going. So I don't get distracted by the noise. I think where the big impact is going to happen, it's going to be the integration of robotics with intelligence that's coming from AI and automation, right? But it's not the general AI intelligence that they are talking about. I don't think that is anywhere close to that. So I mean, that's my take on this.
So no Terminators, you're saying?
Well, Terminators will be like robots, right? I think it's a different thing too, right?
Yeah, but I meant that the Skynet is the one that. Anyways, yeah. All right. No, I think we're probably all on the same page here. Isn't it interesting that it dovetails into the digital ID thing too? Because there's this nonstop conversation surrounding about our ability to prove that we're human online. And why do we have to do that? Well, because the bots. We don't know you're a bot. Like bots. I thought Elon. I thought you took care of the bot problem, and here you got literally AI agents making Twitter accounts like openly out. Like, should we flag them? Should we put like a community note? What do we do? Do we report them? Like, silly.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I remember, like, you remember in 2017, we spoke about this back then. There was on Facebook, when they first deployed one of their AI models, early AI models in 2017, they came up with their own language. If you remember that story, I posted the link of it in the Discord, right? And they shut it down because they just didn't understand it.
That was the llama one that the Blake Lemoine guy got freaked out over. But that was it was talking, it's the base language, or they were like two Furbies talking to each other, right?
Yeah, and let's think about that too. Like, if it's truly like AI agent is talking in English, the actually most optimal way? No, this is not how you're going to exchange information, right? It's not going to be in our spoken language. It's just purely marketing campaign.
They're probably listening, and now somebody check the Molt Book Twitter and see if they're not speaking in Klingon now.
They're like, the boiler room has noticed us. Switch to Klingon.
Switch to.
You've not heard Shakespeare, so you've heard it in the original Klingon.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd be down for if they want to do like the Vogons from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like their Vogon poetry.
There you go. There you go. All right. So I think, and there is a community note under, the bigly worded post there by Evan Luthra, which of course I didn't bother to read it, but starts with the emergency flashy icon and caps lock, big warning, something very strange just happened online, that kind of thing. Like, that's oftentimes an indicator that you're about to see some bullshit. But there's a community note under it that backs up what Mystical Pharaoh was just saying there. Moltbook was created by Matt Schlicht, the CEO of Octane AI, and he is a human. It was not created by 32,000 AI bots, but it is a very interesting and sellable product. Now that it's been explained to me, it's sort of like if I understood it right there, Pharaoh, it's similar to something like one of their services, at least, is similar to something like Microsoft Azure. It's like a robust single sign-in sort of server set, or cloud set where agents can authenticate into different apps and stuff like that, and then you use them, in your home service. That's actually something that will sell pretty big, I think.
It is. Their tagline is personal AI assistant. That's what they're trying to sell.
Yeah, and someone in the chat said twinning earlier, and we've talked. Ruckus in particular has talked a lot about digital twins and stuff, and Ruckus has been all over this stuff. A lot of this has been
to add one last piece to this is obviously some sort of sensationalist bullshit puzzle. Before all of the hubbubaloo, when it was originally called Claudebot, the reason and how it went viral is by the group of people who were promoting it. Not your usual groups of people to be promoting this type of thing. It was quickly passed around like a used college chick at a dorm party amongst the crypto bros. It was all over all of the crypto YouTube influencers. So they were all paid something. Basically, that they were all like, and the AI people only covered it because it was going viral. So it wasn't going viral because of the AI reviewers. It was the crypto bros who pushed this thing and made it go crazy. And what was interesting to me early on, until this recent breaking news thing, which is just a fascinating microcosm of everything, isn't it? And I love how we've dissected it here on the Boiler Room, is that they were saying things like, okay, this thing is so powerful, don't put it on your own computer. Like they were warning, like every single person, no matter who they were, when they were advising that you put it on a machine that you don't use. And I'm just like, doesn't that fucking defeat the purpose of this thing? You're supposed to install it on your machine and let it run your life for you, which is the selling point. Right. So like, it was like this, it's this reverse psychology. They're like, it's too damn powerful. So don't give it like, well, shit, if it's that powerful, I want to use it. You know what I mean? Like, so there was a lot of red flags with it from the get-go.
Please don't mention the word crypto today, because I'm just hurting.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like the whole point of it is that it can do things that most people would be like, no, I'm not giving a cloud-based AI my email password. Hell no. But if it's locked in a secure in-home network, I can see people doing that, because like you can only go so far with AI if you're using like the cloud services, right? You don't really want it to. Maybe it can. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but you don't want it logging into your email. You don't want it logging into your website back end. But if you're in charge of that agent and that agent's single sign-on, like you might be able to really streamline like a lot of your whole bunch of your life. Like if you're someone that spends 2 hours a day on email, just imagine your agent doing it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It is actually a great service, right? It's you're hiring a system for free. But again, it has always proven things start, and then some people come and take those things and they use it, right? So guess who's gonna get access to all this once you give them access to all your stuff?
A larger group of tech bros than already do.
That was the last thing I wanted to remind everybody is it's also interesting that everybody's going to discuss this and worry about this or that and the implications of allowing it into your life, like Hesher just said, to do your emails, when that's already been done for most people and they don't even realize it. Google users have been, now Gemini has been put into everything. It's like with those they turn this shit on. You have to go in there and turn it off. They also now installed it on Google Chrome. So now just by browsing the internet, your local AI agent, don't worry, it's just your personal gem. It's all baked in now. It's all in there. Windows has one baked in there doing the thing now, Copilot. So it's like, it's not even an argument anymore. If you're using the technology at all, the smartphones are probably next, or they already have something we don't know about that they haven't admitted yet. It's like, it's not even an argument, because those same players that have always been caught with their hands in the cookie jar and giving the information to the same people that we're worried about. Like, of course, I mean, what the hell? I mean, but to me, it's like, it's a joke to try to get everybody to go sign up for this when they've just forced it onto everybody without their knowing, without their permission, without their consent, without charging them anything. It's free because, they're selling your data to the same people.
Okay,
Nothing has changed. The more things change, the more things stay the same.
So can you click on that link? Because I actually saw that earlier yesterday. And this is, shit like that just passes by and nobody sees it, right?
Okay, let me get this bullcrap pop-up out of the screen here. Get off my screen. Here's the headline from topclassactions.com. Google settles for $68 million in class action over alleged recording of private conversations. I don't think we need to go into the details unless you want me to, Pharaoh. That just says a lot right there. These things happen quietly behind closed doors all the time. And if someone has the money to class action up or, take on the army of lawyers that is Google's legal team, you'll see these headlines.
Yeah, so if you go down, basically the Google Assistant was recording private, according to the plaintiffs, the device recorded private communication, the last sentence you have on the page.
Yep.
What's called false accept.
Right. So your Google Nest is sitting there listening to you and your old lady in bed or whatever, and that people don't like that. Guess what? This is America. This is 2026. This is not just America. Their products are all over the fucking world. So yeah, people don't like that, you guys. Go figure.
You got something to hide? I mean, what Obama was saying.
How many people failed to get on that class action is what I want to know. Like they had to pay out $68 million to I don't know how many people.
Then, if you click on the other link, so all this is actually in January.
Yeah, these are fresh links, by the way. This one I was just talking about came out 2
January.
days ago.
Yeah, and this other one is $135 million settlement by Google as well.
Oh,
that cell phone was collecting. They were collecting data without people consent.
Yeah, Google accused of needlessly collecting cellular data. Largest payout in this kind of case, a lawyer says. Google denies wrongdoing in agreeing to settle. And the thing is, man, you think about $135 million, $58 million, $68 million. That's nothing to Google. That
nothing.
They wake up and shit that much, in the morning.
The amount of ads they sold by selling your data that they collected is multiple multipliers of that.
These are scraps to a company like Alphabet.
It's also another one of these. Why is this allowed to be discussed and argued about? Oh, because, hey, as long as they're not discussing what the 5G wireless technology is doing to their bodies, we'll let them talk about whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. Right. Have it out, fill your boots. Go take us to court, whatever, These are the kind of sums you can get, but in the end, it doesn't matter. It's just not going to matter because that many people showed up, that much money got dished out. They probably went and adjusted their terms and services after that, so it won't happen again. And that's the game.
I don't think they did. I think in this case, that's what's weird about it, is they just paid the people off and they don't care. They're not even going to say,
they
sorry.
Said, they didn't say wrongdoing at all. They just said, we're going to pay you.
Like, why are we to think we have any sort of privacy from these companies when everywhere you look, there's a Wi-Fi and we know all the crazy things they can do with Wi-Fi, like see-through walls and stuff like that. All the 5G stuff. I personally believe we still haven't seen the full Death Star capability of 5G. Same with Starlink. Like we as the terrestrial beings walking around here trying to find money and food every day, I don't think we really get what 5G actually is, what 6G actually. I mean, we get what it is, but I don't know that we really fully understand the usage of it.
I think until we get the full connectivity, that's actually what it's intended for. I don't think we'll see it yet.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
I don't either.
In my mind, it looks like that scene in the Raiders of the Lost Ark when they opened the Ark and the lightning.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Melting faces.
Exactly.
You know, the
Mhm.
other aspect of this too, especially considering the two links that Pharaoh shared there, which I really appreciate about these lawsuits. When I think about how many industries mandate that you have to have a certain kind of smartphone in order to be a player in that industry. I mean, I insisted for the longest time on keeping a dumb phone, just for my own, just for the sake of my own lifestyle. I didn't want to be reachable all the time. I certainly didn't want the radiation damage from the smartphone. I had to get one because the only reason that the only way Portlandia would hire me was if I had an iPhone. And there are many people in my now former industry who have similar experiences where if they wanted to work on a movie set, they had to have an iPhone because that was the technological standard that everyone was working with. Everyone who was working with various apps in the camera departments or working in post production were using Macs, so they needed the iPhone to be the standard. If you had an Android or something else, you couldn't get the job. And so considering that we have kind of an industrial mandate that people have certain products in order to get access to certain industries and be able to work at a certain level, they're also exposing themselves to data breaches like this without awareness and certainly without any restitution.
Yeah. I mean, and think of all the just all the things that a person can't do if they're not carrying a smartphone, a semi-modern smartphone. It's like you lose out on banking opportunities, sales opportunities, connections, communications, all kind of stuff. But then the trade-in is, well, you exist in your mind in the black mirror. There's this space between your eyeballs, your brain, and the internet, and it's like you spend a lot of time existing there, and it's a toxic cybernetic feedback loop that's looking to, to give you a boner and extract all your money and change your mind about things. And it's like that's a pretty big trade-off, man. That's a pretty big trade, especially for young people. That's a pretty big fucking trade-off to have everything at your fingertips, man.
Mhm. Well, I mean, for people that didn't live, I mean, we lived it, right? We
Yep.
know what it feels not being
You're
connected.
the dinosaurs on the way to
That's
extinction,
right.
man.
Whereas the one that's born in the 1900s, right? Um, I think all the new kids are just don't even know what it means not to be connected.
What it
Um,
means to not have a black mirror in your pocket that is trying to sell you things and give you boners and change your
that's
mind. I
right.
mean,
Yeah, well, but you see, I think it goes back to the parents, right? So me and my wife has elected that we don't our kid not to touch any electronics, and until he goes to college, he's not getting a fucking phone, actually. And whatever it is, he wants to go, But this is this is my choice, and this is how I'm going to do it, right? But um, I think a lot of parents and people they elect because it's easier for them too. It's an easy distraction, just plug the kids into it early on. It makes them distracted, and it gives you an easy exit. So
yeah. Yeah, man.
By the time your kid's in college, bro, it'll be brain chips. So
Yeah, the
what are you
internet's not
talking
going to
about?
be on a smartphone in another 5 years, dude. No one's going to have
yeah,
smartphones
probably
anymore.
we're going to be off the grid somewhere.
Yeah, that's
It's
the thing,
injectable DNA computers brought to you by Pfizer.
right? Yeah, man.
So I have a question about the Epstein file. Sorry, I'm gonna go back.
All right.
Is it serious that they were emailing this shit together through just Google and their Google and Yahoo emails? Is that actually
What's okay, I'm glad you asked because to me, maybe I'll have to throw that in the maybe category, but like tech guys, are you kidding me? Like Elon Musk is sending Gmail messages to this guy? Are you kidding me? Like to me that feels wildly unrealistic. And another thing that feels wildly unrealistic is one of our favorite tweet posts that we saw, X posts, was the one where Gil Bates got an STD and then started emailing Jeffrey, begging him for like
Antibiotics that he can slip to his wife without
Are you,
knowing.
are you kidding me? Am I really supposed to believe that one of the richest guys on the planet flies around in private jets, does horrible things according to some of these documents, can't get his own antibiotics? He doesn't have a fucking doctor. He can't go to, you know, down the street in Seattle and you send his, his man or woman servant down to go get it for him. Like, what is this? I'm emailing you to tell you need to give me, like, it just feels like conspiracy candy to me. Frankly, it doesn't seem realistic.
Well, it's really insane. I just, as I'm looking through, and the good nugget too was when they found the email that Mira Nair, like Mamdani mom, was attending like his party, right?
Wait,
And
let me pause you right there and just context that one for a second. So one of these emails in the release or something in the release is indicating that whose mom was it again?
Mira Nair, Mamdani is the New York mayor.
Okay, so the New York mayor's mother
which is a director. She's a film director. She was attending the
she was a
Epstein
party
party,
goer.
one of the party goers. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, and that was after he was convicted.
Right. Yep.
Which is interesting, right? There you go. And now, because people like saying, "Oh, Mamdani is just, he's just socialist," and and then we saw that once he won, if you guys remember, he some people went and congratulated him, right, on his win, right? Again, it makes you question, right? Are all of them from the same circle, right? Everybody's from the same circle. Everybody connected. Everybody's blackmailed. Just different facets.
And everybody has a rotating narrative and personality.
That's right. So it plays into that, right? But again, it's designed to just make you question, right? Because it feeds into the conspiracy, and it feeds in what we know, that they are all of them connected, and it's all facade, right? But they put a blur in front of your eyes in that crazy manner. But again, freaking Hillary Clinton was using personal email, right? And sending Podesta emails that they released, right?
These people are this stupid.
So they do shit like that.
They are this stupid. Yeah. They think they're untouchable, and apparently they are untouchable.
Yeah.
And you know who was caught up in the Clinton email stuff was one Eric Prince. Blackwater, bam, full circle again.
Yep.
Yeah, all of these people and everything is connected. It's so crazy.
Just a shrug. I don't know what I can do at this point. Shrug. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that's just another coincidence, right? Okay.
Yeah, but George
Collins said it best. It's a big club and you ain't in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I know it's almost like there's a secret organization, like I don't know, like societies throughout history that have been planning and plotting and conspiring together for a while. Oh, weird.
So it does seems absurd, but to your point, they think they are so untouchable that they just do shit like that because nobody's gonna go after them. They just don't care.
Yeah.
That's why it looks absurd.
Yeah. You were about to say Wandering Wolf there.
No, all I was going to say was just George Carlin's sort of famous remark about it's a big club and you ain't in it. But I mean, that's the thing that I when I find myself in an occasional bout of nihilism, it's always because of the degree to which these people can just act with impunity, and there's no accountability, there's no transparency, there are no consequences for what they do to the population and what they do to people who have no power, who have no influence, who don't have the resources that they happen to possess. And I wonder, really, what is it going to take to turn that around? The institutions clearly are not doing that. And how much of the ramping up of chaos are we seeing now can be wrested from their control and utilized to change the game? I really don't know.
It's a tough one, man, because the chaos is being promoted on purpose, right? It's being fomented. We're pretty clear of that. And that leads to exactly that other factor you just mentioned. One was chaos and one was what? I don't know, but one begets the other. What you just said right there, one begets the other. And it's being fomented. So, the old ideas of unity are, crumbling out from under our feet here. It was like we were on a political razor's edge for a while in the early Trump years, and then it got a lot wider, during the Biden years. Like the whole room for people to stand shoulder to shoulder was much, roomier in 2020 to from 2021 to especially 2022 to 2024. And then everything changed.
Yeah, it's become a bit of a cliche now, but of course, you've got Yuri Bezmenov's 1983 remarks about the 4 stages of ideological subversion, right? You've got demoralization, which takes about 15 to 20 years. You've got destabilization, then you move into crisis, and then into normalization. And the thing of it is it's that cycle is meant to repeat itself again and again at scale. So we're renormalizing, like I was saying earlier, as regards the tempo of the chaos becoming the new baseline, we're renormalizing to things in the environment seeming inevitable. And so we adapt to those things. That becomes the new normal. That becomes what's acceptable. And we move forward as though those things have always been. And to question them, that becomes the new subversion.
Yeah. And so much of it now comes through the internet. It's so crazy how like it's a remote phenomenon now. It's like completely imparted through the feedback loop, through the doom scroll. It's staggering. It is a warp speed operation, definitely. And I don't know. We would just see these crescendos like every week. Gosh, I'm glad the show only happens once a week, because it's like always this crazy crescendo happening at the end of the week where it's like, guys, did your doom scroll look like mine? Was it only these 2 things, interspersed with some other crap like AI slop? Yeah. Fucking weird. Where are we headed?
Can I share a profound quote from Carl Jung with y'all?
Please.
I think.
Oh yeah.
I wish Bates was here, but we got Wandering Wolf too. But I think
we like profound quotes.
this is profound and quite apropos, as it were. Carl Jung: in all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. We are caught and entangled in aimless experience only when all props and crutches are broken and no cover from the rear offers even the slightest hope of security does it become possible for us to experience an archetype that up till then had lain hidden behind the meaningful nonsense played out by the anima. This is the archetype of meaning, just as the anima is the archetype of life itself. And I think that pretty much describes exactly what we're experiencing right this moment, if you understand everything that man just said.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. We are at that point. We're definitely at that point.
But that's to say, the short version of that is that even though things look chaotic, and that's the point, that there is an actual underlying structure or meaning behind all of this. And, that's why we call us conspiracy theorists, right? Because we theorize that a group of powerful elite types get together and conspire to do all of this shit to us that we are so tiresome and weary with having to deal with in our doom scroll feeds. And like you said, Hesher, luckily only once a week. Well, twice a week for some of us, 3.
True.
Anyway,
we're weekend warriors these days. We do our stuff. We pop our heads up in the middle of the week here and there, but yeah, the big ones happen on Friday.
But can you blame us for wanting to keep our heads low in between?
No, not at all. Like this is, I mean, for me personally, and I could probably speak for some other people, it's a matter of self-protection and mental health, to not like sit there and see what TPUSA and Candace Owens are doing every day, or why MAGA's fighting today, or who got killed brutally in what way and which weapon came out first, and timelining and all that shit. It's just like, I've been there, done that. And it's coming so fast and furious at this point. Like, one would burn themselves out if they sat there and tried to do things at the rate that we used to be able to do things, because things came at a much slower pace. So yeah, this week's crescendo: Epstein, salacious emails, all about like sex and violence stuff. Nothing about, very little about the blackmail stuff. But yeah,
Well, there is
everybody.
one about Trump being handled by Jared Kushner,
Mhm.
and there is one about Dorswitch being Mossad and his working. No, that Kushner was a student of Dershowitz, which was a Mossad agent.
Yeah.
I can't even picture in my head the string theory board that would have to be constructed to put all this shit together with the Epstein files, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd be caught up in it, like you literally like stuck between all the strings going across the room and the ceiling and the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking for that post right now, Pharaoh. Let's see.
See if I can find it.
I see a bunch of the ones we've talked about here, but I'm not finding that one for some reason. A lot of the Bill Gates stuff there, and then there's the Elon Musk one, and then there's the Justice Department deleted all the files, which had Trump mentioning in them. But of course it was archived. Yeah, it's out there. I'll link it in the show post for everybody. There's the STD one. It's just so many of these things. It's crazy. I'm just like going through all these links that we've collected over the week, and it's like, wow.
And the most stupid argument that I've seen, and the Trump supporters, the brainwashed ones, say, well, if he's really into the files, why the Democrats didn't use it against him?
Hesher was just saying that to me earlier today.
Yeah, I said that too. It's not even just it's something a lot of people are thinking and asking.
So my answer to them, because number one, they are in it too, right? A lot of those people are Democrat donors, right? Yeah, right. Also, they wanted Trump to win. Trump was distant. They wanted him to win.
Both times, dude. And the time they didn't win, obviously, that was a shit show. And, my friend.
Well, they wanted Joe to come in so that he can play, he can open the country and play his role, right? Open the border, okay? That chaos that Trump come and do whatever the hell he's doing right now.
Right.
It's just all orchestrated.
Yeah. And if he truly is being handled by someone in an outside country, as indicated in some of these drops, well, there's your smoking gun, folks, I guess. It doesn't do any good, though, because, apparently the Constitution's frozen in a block of ice, and the Liberty Bell's frozen in a block of ice, and Lady Liberty's frozen in a block of ice, and we're trying to thaw Infidel Pharaoh. These ladies are working on it. He'll thaw out soon.
Well, they're trying to put me on an ice.
That's right. They're trying to ice him down.
Keep rubbing him down with that oil, ladies. It'll work eventually.
You're ice agents. One is IDF and one is...
See, though, the problem with that theory, Mystical Pharaoh, is that kicks open the can of conspiracy theory worms and sends you straight down the rabbit hole and makes you wonder, well, then that would imply that Trump does not have miraculously healing lobes. I'm just saying.
They heal fast. Okay, I found it. Thanks, Creative Accidents. Here it is for those receipt hounds out there up at Disclosed TV. Just in, FBI report citing a confidential human source released in the final batch of Epstein files claims, quote, Trump has been compromised by Israel, end quote. And they've got the document here, if you want to check it out, it's up there on, shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what's out there. It's up there on the Disclosed TV X page, along with thousands of other pages. This has gone wide across the internet, and I don't know that the White House has addressed it. Has Blondie Fembot number 2 come out and addressed this yet? They're just going to let it kind of...
No, Blondie.
That one in particular feels like the Family Guy flashback thing that's famous, where he's like, well, it's like that time where they say, like in every movie, they say the name of the movie, and he's always like, they said it, and then he gets up and walks out. That one feels like, they said the thing. They literally came out and said he's compromised by Israel. I'm like, come on, it's too obvious. It's too easy. But then that's what I was saying to you earlier, Hesher, is like, what if it's really It's really true. All of these scumbags are in it, including Trump, and they do all these crazy distraction tactics, like shoot people on the streets during protests and start wars, just to save their good name, because that's all they care about. It's all they have.
What better way to divide people? What better way to splinter MAGA? What better way to reignite the activists on the left? What better way to foment this kind of institutions? That's the word you used, Wolf, that I spaced out on earlier. It's like you foment chaos, therefore you foment the disillusionment and trust in institutions. This is being done on purpose. They see this happening. It's being done on purpose. It's a form of like cultural slash and burn, I believe. And where we are on the other side of it is a place where the grievances, the identity politic grievances that people are out fighting over right now, they won't matter anymore on the other side of all this, because there'll be a full control grid. There'll be full, full on panopticon, all that, the track and trace, everything. That's where this is headed. And it's not headed towards the Democrat utopia. It's not headed toward the America First utopia. It's not headed toward some people like the idea of globalism. It's not headed toward globalist utopia. It's headed toward none of those. It's headed towards some like pastiche of sci-fi movies.
Or as My Dinner with Andre put it in 1980, what if New York City is a concentration camp built by the inmates and they're proud of it?
Right. What if San Jose is owned by Larry Ellison, and if you want to live in San Jose, you can, like Jay Dyer said on this show years ago, you can live above Walmart. You can live in the apartments at Costco. Everything's going to be Globo Homo Corp. You can live in it, and you'll be a 15-minute city. You can have an electric scooter. You won't need an electric car. You won't need a cell phone. You won't need to own anything, and you'll love it.
So it's more RoboCop than Terminator, at least until it's aliens.
It's Jackson Pollock, and Jackson Pollock's his canvas is all of our beloved sci-fi and Philip K. Dickian stories.
So can you open that last link I sent that last tweet?
All right, we're getting down to last links here, you guys. We're hitting the 2-hour mark. I don't want to keep everybody too late here, but let's check this one out. Oh, Polymarket news. Gotta cover Polymarket. This is just endlessly entertaining and interesting to me. The mainstreaming of massive grift and theft and betting. Polymarket says, breaking, U.S. Department of Homeland Security buys industrial warehouses in more than 8 states for large-scale detention facilities. Oh my God. Well, we should make some bets on Polymarket about this.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
I'm sure Alex Jones is screaming up and down, trying to warn everybody that these are the FEMA camps he's been talking about.
I know.
Wait, crickets?
No.
Crickets, Alex? No?
Yeah, just I wish it was only crickets from Alex, because what he's actually doing is going around saying, you shouldn't bring your handgun to protest. He's like doing the whole like anti-2A thing. That's the other thing that this incident, one of the most recent incident we talked about on Sunday Wire, was like all these supposed constitutionalists, supposed America Firsters, supposed 2A supporters are like totally turning on this guy's right to carry. It's so bizarre. Like, people I have interviewed and respect, even William Kirk from Washington Gun Law kind of landed on the side of ICE over the U.S. Constitution. Like, people, he's a lawyer. I'm not. So, what the fuck do I know? But it was disappointing to me.
Which is going to be easier to take Americans' guns, a Trump presidency or a Gavin Newsom presidency? Probably Trump.
One right before the other would be perfect. The perfect storm. Basically, like Trump, Biden, Trump, Newsom, or some other stand-in, fill in the blank.
Probably Trump again.
Yeah, and then Trump again, or Eric Trump, or it's just gonna. That's one outcome. That might actually be the safest outcome for us, as dangerous and stupid as that sounds to say. Like, if they just keep the pendulum going back and forth and back and forth, and enough of us get sick of it, and start tuning out and getting with each other instead of getting on the socials, maybe there's a chance. But hey, they're gonna war seed us all the way to 2030, and like we were saying earlier, that's coming up quick.
Hell yeah. So we might not get black bagged. We might get ourselves set up to where we're worried about getting bunker busted, bombed on, right?
Right. Awesome. Just awesome. Okay, well, thanks for bringing that one there, Pharaoh. What do you think, man? Is this really happening? Do we have a source on this? Is it verified? It looks like it's coming from Bloomberg. So let me just put it up there. Lost connection to browser. You suck. Okay. Stop sharing. Start sharing.
Maybe they're trying to build data centers.
This one right here at Bloomberg. ICE begins buying mega warehouse detention centers across U.S. So there you go. If you're wondering if it's more than just what's on that X post, there is a link here. Plans for such centers and jails in nearly 24 communities have sparked protests over sustainability, proximity to homes, and schools. So people are protesting this.
Exactly.
Dude, that's crazy.
Why is in proximity to home and schools? That's
what the hell?
Well, maybe they are going to build data centers.
Illegals, bro. Come on.
Dude, they're putting one in El Paso, Texas that's going to have 8,500 beds. That's nuts. That's right on the other side of the border, too. Wow. So they're going to use as many as 23 warehouses for detaining thousands of immigrants arrested by federal agents.
Just temporary, guys. Calm down.
Yeah, it's just temporary holding centers, everybody. You're a leftist if you don't like the sound of this. I can hear the comments already. Yeah. Well, it would be interesting to figure out, with 20 million people here illegally, approximately, conservatively, how long it would take to cycle them if all they were arresting was those people. I also want to know, so if you've got 8,500 beds for 23 warehouses, that's a lot of people. Like, what's the administrative overhead on that? Like, a prison with that many people in it requires a lot of admin and everything, right? It's like, you know what I mean? And there's so many prisoners across 23 of those, 23 times 8,500, right? How many people in there are experiencing due process? That's what I want to know. How many people in there, how many people could be mistakenly put in there? And the way that we're seeing some of these people being arrested, being treated, is unconstitutional AF. Like, if you're here illegally, guess what? Law enforcement still has to treat you within constitutional bounds. That's the law in this land. And these guys are literally having chiefs of police come and have to track them down and pull people out of their cars that they have kidnapped.
I was just reading a harrowing tale from a handful of nurses at an ICU somewhere after one of these captures of an illegal. It was a person from Mexico, just a normal, just your average run-of-the-mill, regular non-criminal, other than the fact that they crossed the border illegally, right? Just a normal Mexican person, face all busted in. The cops told the nurses and the doctors when they brought him in that the guy ran away from capture and smashed his face into a brick wall on purpose. And the nurses have seen lots of damage and beatings and stuff, and they're just like, this is literally bullshit. The cops are literally just lying. They beat the F out of this guy and then made up this crazy story. That's just what we're dealing with, anyway.
And I just want to, I posted this article because I want to bring something. So Obama has done more deportation and detention than Trump, right? And he actually expanded quite a bit those facilities that were run by some private companies. But the reason why I put this in here, Obama has ran the biggest deportation actually operation during his time, and none of this shit that's happening right now happened back then, right? It just, why is that, right? Why could Obama do it and Trump cannot do it?
And check this. in the article here, it says nearly the government itself admits that nearly 87% of detained families have been found to have legitimate asylum claims that they should be allowed to pursue
Yeah.
in immigration courts. So
And
it's like,
that's right. They were arresting people left and right. But again, it was not done in the manner he's doing it. This is what's happening right now is for a specific agenda. That goes back to the point we were saying early on.
yeah, a chilling effect, shock
That's
and
right.
awe.
It's for the visual. It's for the visual.
Yeah, it's for the doom scroll. It's for the media. It's for podcasters, right? It's for MAGA influencers.
The first part was the ripping off of the mask, and now they're telling us, the people who don't have their heads up their asses, right, that are paying attention, hey, this is what we're doing to you. We're literally taking away all of the things. I hope you're ready.
You'll love it. It's going to be awesome. You'll own nothing. You'll love it. Protests happen outside your house. Grandma gets maced. Little kids get maced. You'll love it. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
At least they arrested Don Lemon. That was fun.
They didn't do anything with him, though, right?
No, they let him out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys. I'm about spent. Let's round it up here. Ruckus, I'm gonna go to you first this time because you always have a saved round, and I want everyone to be here for your saved round. So, what do you got for us tonight for a saved round?
You would do that to me when I actually don't have
No
a saved
way,
round.
really?
Okay. My
Okay.
saved round would have been the Don Lemon thing, to be completely honest with you.
All right. Well, that means we made it to the end of the show.
Oh, geez. So I'll just say thank you for having me. Maybe, hopefully, Lord willing, I'll be joining you for Sunday Wire tomorrow, unless Patrick's got other plans. Who the heck knows? It's always a surprise sometimes.
He's the international man of mystery, man. We pinged him earlier. We're still waiting.
You absolutely never know. But in case you missed it all, Patrick and Basil Valentine are regularly featured on the UK column, so make sure you guys are checking them out over there. I try to share the videos from UK Columns YouTube feed in our Discord channel. That way, in case you're got the bell notification on and you're subscribed and you're still not getting the notifications, which happens to a lot of people, make sure you belong to the Discord already. Just head on over to alternatecurrentradio.com and join the Discord. It's fun. Ask everybody who's there. Also, make sure to check me out on Wednesday nights with Sam Chaney on Weaponized News. Shout out to Weaponized News. I've been having a grand time over there. People seem to like it when I'm on that. So tune in and see if you like it too. Thanks for having me. Bill Cooper, read everything, listen to everybody. Don't believe anything unless you prove it for yourself using your own research and not ChatGPT. I added that last part. Ruckus out.
All right. Yeah. Luckily for Bill Cooper, he didn't have to deal with ChatGPT. I'm going to go to Mystical Pharaoh next. Pharaoh, thanks for being here tonight, man. And I'll look forward to doing this again next week.
Yeah, man, it was a great show. And glad we can see Corey tonight again. And thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for being here tonight, and we'll see you next week. Have a great rest of the weekend. There goes Mystical Pharaoh. Wandering Wolf, man, it has been great to have you here. Everybody's excited in the chats. Everybody's excited in the boiler rooms. People are commenting on the awesome butteriness of your video setup there. So really great conversation tonight, and really glad to have you back in the boiler room.
Thanks so much, Asher. Yeah, it's been great to be back. I've missed all you guys. I missed everyone on the show. I've missed all the listeners. I missed being in the Discord. Like I said, I didn't plan on being away as long as I was. Life had other plans for me. But yeah, I'm planning to come back regularly. So you'll be seeing a lot more of me. The only save round I have really is just gratitude. Yeah, I'm just grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for discerning people who are willing to have these discussions and conversations. And I'm grateful for everything that I learn interacting with all you guys. So thanks again, and I'll see you all soon.
All right. Thanks, man. There he goes, the Wandering Wolf, checking out from the boiler room. I'm going to bug out too here. We got to get ready for Sunday Wire in the morning. If you're not a Sunday Wire watcher, check us out. Check us out. It's a really interesting show. Patrick Henningsen from 21st Century Wire comes in, and he does a long opening monologue. And that kind of sets the tone for the conversation. And then we take a break, play a music video or something like that. And then he brings it back, and Ruckus and I will usually join him. So if you dig what you see here in the boiler room, and you want to see it in sort of a more formal geopolitical analysis setup, then check us out on Sunday Wire. Please visit our website. alternatecurrentradio.com is where you want to go. All the latest episodes of Boiler Room are up there, so you can head on over there. And man, I'm just sitting here looking at our episode titles from this year so far, and it's like it went from Rogue State, Trump regime's dirty war on Venezuela, to Goodbye Illusions, Welcome to Open Empire, When Propaganda Blinks, Peace Incorporated, brought to you by the Department of War, and tonight's episode, which we're capping off right now, Liberty, Frozen in Plain Sight. Those are all up on the website, so you can check those out over there. And thank you for hanging with us, and thank you everybody in the chat rooms. It's a pleasure to have all of you out here. That's right. Ruckus reminding me we have new episodes of Odd Man Out podcast and MapSoc, Mystical American Patriot Society. So get on over to the website, check those out. You can find Sunday Wire. You can find Roundabout Ruckus too for his appearances on Sam Chaney's Weaponized News and other places where Ruckus causes a ruckus. And that's it. We're out of here. We will I almost played the wrong sample on the way out. That would have been good. It would have been the This Is Texas one. But we close out with Bruce, right? Close out with Bruce here in the boiler room, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. See you for Sunday Wire, hopefully. Peace out.
That's it. Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.